What's going on, guys? Joe McCall here. Welcome to the Deals show. Hope you're doing awesome. Listen, I'm going to be reviewing some deals today. I like reviewing deals. I like comping deals. I like, making offers on deals. I just did a new video series that's going to be releasing out on YouTube in the next 1 to 2 weeks, where I did 4 different 5-minute videos. They were a little longer than 5 minutes, but one of them was, hey, watch me find a deal in 5 minutes. One of them was, watch me comp a property in 5 minutes. Watch me make an offer, and watch me find a buyer, all in 5 minutes. Because this business really is not that hard. It's not hard at all. We tend to complicate it, and sometimes we overanalyze things. And my goal in doing this is to really just kind of help you take a deep breath, relax, and say, you know what, it's not that hard. I can do this, and it's okay to make a mistake. Because I guarantee you, some of these deals that I'm going to be looking at here, I've made mistakes on. And I would make a mistake on, right? Let me real quick talk about what's working well today. A lot of you guys are wondering, hey, what's working today? Are postcards still working today? Are blind letters or neutral letters working? What about texting? I just saw a website being promoted this morning, talking about ringless voicemail. There are still websites that you can go and do ringless voicemail on. Does that stuff still work? Well, I can tell you what works. And what has always worked and what will always work, my favorite way to get leads, is boring, plain old-fashioned postcards, especially for vacant land, is still working. It is one of the cheapest ways to get leads. Direct mail. It's old school, but it works. And the reason I love it is because people are calling me. I'm not going out and calling them. They're calling me. And when I send usually everybody to voicemail, but when I'm calling them back, it's more like, hey, I got your voicemail. How can I help you? Do you understand the difference? Do you have a house you want to sell? Do you have a property, vacant lot? Tell me about it. Why do you want to sell it? All right. My second favorite form of marketing that's working really well today for me and for a lot of my clients, cold calling. Cold calling is no fun. Nobody likes to do it, but it works. And so I recommend you find people that can do it for you, either virtual assistants. You can find virtual assistants that can do it for you on Upwork, onlinejobs.ph. Get some Filipinos to do it for you. Or if you're a member of my Inner Circle community, we have resources in there. We actually have a guy who has the VAs that you can hire. We have companies that you can hire to do your cold calling for you that have really good success rates, very good American-based VAs on there. So check it out. So we've got a deal here. I want to review it from David. Oh yeah, let me say something else. You know what else is really working well? Just making offers. Just making offers. If you want the secret shortcut for doing deals, to make offers. That's all that matters. So that begs the question then, well, how do you make offers if you don't have any leads? Well, that's what you need to figure out, isn't it? Your speed to income is directly proportional to the number of offers that you make. So how many offers have you made? I have a group of clients that I'm working with right now in a little small group. Every Monday, Thursday morning, we're on Zoom for about a half hour, and they return in their scorecard every week. And it's a real simple accountability group. It's like, hey, how many offers did you make in the last week? If not, what are you doing? What's going on? Well, some of them, they're waiting for the leads to come in. They just did their first direct mail, their campaign. They're sending it. Some of them are going through my course for the first time, so they're watching the videos. That's cool. But as soon as possible, ASAP, you need to be going out there and making offers. So if you are waiting for the leads to come in, because you're doing direct mail, there's other things you could do. You could start calling realtors of older vacant land listings and calling them and asking them, hey, can you tell me about the property? What's going on? Why hasn't it sold yet? Old leads. If you have old leads, maybe you know somebody else, another investor that has a bunch of old leads. That's something that you should be all doing right now, is networking with other investors who have old leads and asking them, hey, what are you doing with your old leads? If I followed up on your old leads for you, could we split the deals? And most investors, if they're not doing any follow-up, they'd be crazy to say no to something like that. This is a deal I'm going to look at from David, and it's in Silver Springs, Florida. You guys know where that is? So this property This is the address, 1150 Southeast 159th Avenue. On Google Maps, just zooming out, right in the heart of Florida. Near a bunch of lakes. All right, let's look at satellite. Looks like a vacant lot, doesn't it? There's a Forest Public Library nearby. Let's look at, let's drag this guy around. And you see the blue? That's where all the streets are. The street view maps. Let's see what the area looks like. So if you go down this dirt road, the property is out that about ways. Yeah, this looks like Florida, doesn't it? It does not look like Colorado or Arizona. This looks like Florida. All right, so one of the tools I like to use is id.land or land ID. Let me sign in. This is Florida. Create new map. Get started. I'm going to search by address. Zoom in. Ooh, right next to U.S. Government Forest Service. That could be a plus, couldn't it? You know that nobody's going to ever develop this. Belongs to the government. I'd be curious to know what this is. Marion County owns this. What's going on here? All right, so this property right here, 0.37 acres. Sometimes you can get information of when it was last purchased. Sometimes you can't. But the taxes is $216 a year. All right, let's take a look at if it's in a flood zone or not. I'm going to click on overlays. FEMA floodplain. Let's look at wetlands. Wetlands. Nope. All right, that's good. As we zoom out, you can see the wetlands and the floodplains. All right. Now, if this was more hilly, mountainous, we'd want to look at the terrain. But this is all pretty flat, right? So the owner lives in Plant City, Florida. This is where the property is right here. Let's look it up on Redfin. And I'm going to paste that property right here. 0.37 acres. Sometimes you get some information about this just by looking down if it's ever been listed before. Sometimes you can even get more information on Zillow on prior listings. If it's ever been listed before, excuse me, I don't see anything. I'm going to X out of here, and the property's right in the center of that map, right? Well, if we start zooming out, and we're going to remove boundary, click to see all. You just have to click outside to see all. I'm going to reset all my filters here. Let's look at active for sale and accepting backups and pendings. Let's just see what's in the area. Because here's a house down the street, 48,999. So this is what the neighborhood looks like. This is what I'm kind of looking for. Here's a property for $25K, $5K, $49K. What does this look like? This is a beat up house. I'll open this up a little bit so you can see better. Yeah, this looks like a property that needs a little bit of work, doesn't it? You can see the neighborhood has some cars in it. This property just needs a little TLC. I don't think there's any value to this house. I don't think anybody would buy it and rehab it. But they're asking $49 for it. Let's see how long it's been on the market. They just cut the price $1,000. It's 2 beds, 2 baths, quote unquote. It's been on the market 34 days. It has a lot of saves. Okay, interesting. So this is probably some wholesaler that is trying to wholesale it. I'm imagining. This is the price history. It's really good. So it's been on the market since March 4th. So about almost a month. It started at $54.9. Now it's $48.9. Sometimes you can even see, it was listed originally the end of February for $59.9. Now they're asking $48.9. It's going in the wrong direction, isn't it? I mean, this market's supposed to be hot. Everything is supposed to be selling really fast. So why isn't this thing selling fast? Well, you're not going to, I don't think anybody's going to rehab this house and rent it out. It's just probably not, it's not cheap enough. But it's good to know this, right? Because this is the competition. Here's a vacant lot. They're currently asking, same size. They're currently asking $23,500 for it. They just had a price cut. Same size. I like reading the description on these because it tells you a little bit about the area. Embrace the natural splendor of Silver Springs. Positioned amidst nearby attractions. Envision your dream retreat in this thriving community. Really? Trails await at Baseline Road Trailhead. Embark on outdoor adventures with Baseline Road Trailhead, just 26 minutes away. Relaxation at Ray Wayside Park. Unwind in the serene ambiance of Ray Wayside Park, a mere 16 minutes away. What is Ray Wayside Park? You know, I'm kind of making fun of this, but these are good things to know because if you get this property under contract, these are things that you're going to be putting in your description. But for God's sake, don't use stupid Chat GPT nonsense. For those seeking adventure, Brick City is just 33 minutes away. Discover recreational activities and embrace the vibrant energy of this Silver Springs community. There's also an artistic retreat. Indulge your artistic side. See, this is so stupid. This just annoys me. I don't know if I was interested in this property. Anyway, you know what it is? This is probably an investor. You can tell by these pictures. It's probably some $2 or $3 an hour virtual assistant in the Philippines that put this into Chat GPT. But they're selling it for $23,500, and it's been on the market for 21 days. So my property is going to have to be cheaper than this. They just had a price cut. All right, we'll look at all that in a second here. Let's go back to search. Let's zoom out a little bit. What's this $5,000 property? So that's about 0.15 acres. Let's look at this property. Similar neighborhood, right? Okay, so here's a nicer house for $260,000. All right, so I like Redfin. Let's click on this map. Nearby homes for sale. What that does is it puts it right in the center of my property. Okay, no, I was confused. We were looking at 1150. This property it's right here. So let me zoom in. Let's go to satellite. So it's the property right next door to that one. By the way, here on Redfin too, you can see floodplains, fire, heat, wind, air. They used to have a crime statistics, but they got in trouble. It's redlining and redlining. You know what redlining is? But they made Redfin and Zillow and Trulia take that all away. Okay, so this is a property. Click on the map. And then it centers me right on that property. Now what I want to do is I want to look at for sale and pendings. And I want to do home type land. So now I'm looking at vacant land only. And I want, ours is 0.37 acres, right? I want lot size minimum 9,500 square feet, which is about 0.2 acres. Max, let's do one acre max. And I'm going to sort this from low to high. So this is about 0.2 acres. This is about our size. Ours is going to have to be less than that. Let's zoom out to see if we can get more. Now this $9,000 one, I'm guessing it's right on the water. So that's partial flood zone, great price. So that's going to be harder to sell. I don't know if I would look at that as competition too much. This is one that's pending, 12,500. Let's just look at solds real quick. So how many I have? I have 11 comps here. If I want more, I can zoom out again. Now I have 35 comps. Some of them are pending. This is a good comp to look at and be aware of. So I have a feeling we're going to need to be around this price range to sell it quick. Sometimes what I even do is I only look at pendings. Those are still green, so sometimes you have to do it twice. Last 3 months. There we go. So that's a good little number of solds in the last 3 months. If we want more comps, we go last 6 months. So I have this spreadsheet that I'm going to use. If you want this spreadsheet, you can get it for free. Where? simplelandkit.com. So I use this tool called it's a scraper tool from Pebble. It's a Chrome extension. So we're looking at solds. I'm going to click on this Pebble scraper, and I know you can't see it, but this thing pops up and it tells me the median price per acre is $40,000. But I'm going to delete some of the big outliers. You know what? I'm actually gonna. I know you can't see this. I'll try to show you a screenshot. But what I'm doing is I'm going to it's scraping all of the properties on the right-hand side, and it's going to give me the average or median price per acre. I'm going to bring down the lowest, the cheapest 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's do 12, 13, 14. Let's do 14. All right, so my numbers are good there. My average price per acre is about $36,674 for solds. And this is a 0.37 acre. So what I did there is use this Pebble tool, and it looks kind of like, let me see if I can do a screenshot here. It looks like this. You see that? This little pop-up thing happens when you click on this little Chrome extension from Pebble. It's free. Go check it out. Just Google it and find it. And so it tells you the average price per acre right here. So I did, for solds, $36,674. And I put that in my solds right here. Now let's look at actives. I'm going to switch to for sale and pending. Now I've got 35. I'm sorting this low to high. I'm going to use that pebble scraper again. And I'm going to bring them all down and see what it gives me. So the median is 67,857. But this time I'm actually going to go, and I just want to bring down the cheapest, I'm going to bring down the cheapest 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, so I have $53,571 an acre. All right, so based on active comps, it's worth about 53 grand an acre. Based on sold comps, it's worth about 36,000 an acre. So I usually discount the active price per acre about 15%. So it's going to be worth maybe 16 grand. Based on sold, it's going to be worth about 13 grand. So I usually have the lowest, the highest here, and I usually go with the lowest number. So let's say I list it for $13,500. I want to make at least a $7,500 wholesale fee. I always pay realtors to sell my deals for me, which, by the way, helps you avoid the whole licensing is illegal without a license police. Sometimes I offer the realtor a bonus. Hey, I'll give you a $500 bonus if you can bring me a buyer that can close in 30 days. Or you're using private money. Maybe you have an oops factor. You pay a photographer $500. We can do closing costs for $1,500 conservatively. So there's my offer, $1,500. $1,500. That's what I would offer. Now you got to look at this and say, all right, well, can I realistically sell it for $13,500? That's your thing. Like, you need to be, when you're pricing your properties to sell, you need to be aggressive. Like, what do I need to price this thing at to sell it quickly? So if I list it for $13,500, let's take a look at what my competition is. Now here's some pendings. Well, this one, is 9 grand, but it's kind of on the water. Mine's a little better. Mine's a little bigger, 0.37. That's 10 grand. 10 grand. Well, this one's pending, 12. 12.5. All right, here's one that's currently available. So I'm cheaper than this one and bigger. I'm cheaper and bigger than this one. I'm cheaper and bigger than that one. Cheaper and bigger. So I'm cheaper and bigger than almost all of these. If I sold mine for $13,500, don't you think I'd probably feel pretty good about selling it quick? I'm a little concerned with, if I zoom in, remember that other property that was for sale down the well, it's not here. It's not showing up here because it's not a vacant lot, right? If I remove land, I'm looking at all of them. There it is. So I'm concerned about this, my neighbor. So I would offer $1,500, and that's going to be about 11% of what I could sell it for. Cool. Any questions about that? Oh, it's a vacant lot in Houston. Nice. On the water, maybe? Some kind of canal in Houston? Some nice big houses. All right, so this looks like to me a pretty premium lot. Let's look at the, this is an old listing, so it's off market. Let's scroll down to see some kind of history on this. $2 a month HOA dues. I wonder if that's really true. It was listed in 2018 for $237,000. All right, so let's look this property up. Sometimes I like to go on Redfin. I'm just going to copy this address. Sometimes you can just get a little different information sometimes. But yeah, I want to look at the street view. Also, this is near, well, this is near the ocean. Only Houston that I've ever been to is up here. So it is, yeah, it is in the ocean, in the Gulf of Mexico, isn't it? All right. So it has saltwater access. I don't know what you call it in Houston, but that's pretty cool, isn't it? It's obviously in a flood zone because it's so close to the water. Not a bad thing. I mean, look at Walmart, it's right there in the area. There's a hospital there. I would be real curious to know how hard it is to get insurance. But there's a lot of nice houses there. That's a good sign. It has water access, which means you can put a boat, get out in the water. That's cool. Let's look at street view again. I just want to see the area. Probably a lot of I don't know. Maybe I was going to say Airbnbs here. Maybe not. All right, let's click on this map. Let's click on nearby homes for sale. Let's look at what else is available for under contract pending. So this let's take a look at this. There's some other vacant land here. How big was ours again? 0.41 acres. Remember, okay, cool. Look at this. If you see the plot map, this is one we're looking at. This one is available for sale right now for $210,000. So we're going to have to be cheaper than that, even though it's a corner lot, maybe a little bigger. No, it's the same size. Let's take a look at the description and the photos. I'm thinking right now, what do I need to sell this property for to sell it quickly? What do I need to price it at? How long has this one been on the market? Well, the listing was removed way back in 21, put back on the market in 23, started at 220, and it hasn't sold yet since January. Since January 23, it hasn't sold yet. What is the buy price? That's what we're trying to find out, Facebook user. Okay, good, Dave. I'll look at that one in a minute. Dave gave me another property here. All right, so back to this one. I'm thinking already, like, if we're going to list ours, it needs to be like eye-popping, aggressive, cheap price because we're going to sell it quick. We're not going to sit around and hope that it sells in 6 months. We always want to price it. We can sell it as quick as possible. And this is going to be unique because it's water access. There's not going to be a lot of comps like this out there. I'm going to zoom. Let's look at for sale and pending. All right, let's look at land only now. Here's another small property, but it's water access pending for 164. Let's zoom out one more time. You're going to have to spend more time looking at these comps, right? Like here's some really small ones. Here's some bigger ones, but they don't have water access. I'm going to do a lot size filter here. Let's do lot size minimum 0.2 acres, 9,500 square feet. Obviously, this isn't going to work, because this is just, it's landlocked or whatever. You know what you could also do is zoom out a little bit. Well, no, I was going to say you could draw something in there, but there's 47 comps. Just center ours back again. This isn't, because it's on the water, this isn't one of those properties you can just do a scraper and scrape all of them. You really need to be looking at which ones are on the water. So I'm going to take this spreadsheet here, and we're just going to kind of do our own little calculation here, okay? Comps. And we're going to do the acres and the price. You know what I'm going to do, because some of these are square feet. Square feet. Acres. So this first one, I'm going to move this over here. 0.42 acres, 210. 0.42. And we're going to have the average price per acre to be $500,000 an acre. That's convenient. 9,699 square feet. 9,699. How many acres is that? Equals that divided by 43,560. 0.23 acres. And they're asking 275. That's 1.2 million an acre. This is 0.25 acres for 299.9. 0.25, 299,900. 1.2 million an acre. Would this one count? Let's see where this one is. Yeah, this is definitely water, right? So 0.51 acres, 385,000. 0.51, 385,000. 754,000 an acre. This one looks waterfront too, and so does this one. 425,000. How many acres? 0.26. And let's do one more here. 0.44. All right, well, the average, the median equals average equals median. The median's about, and the average about the same. I'm looking at this though. I need to be less than 500,000 an acre if I want to sell mine quick. Now these are actives. Let's do the same thing for sold comps and see what we get. I'm going to just copy that, paste it there. Sold comps. Let's go to solds. Last 3 months. Oh, gut punch. Nothing. Last 6 months. Gut punch. Oh, you know what? This is Texas. We might have an issue with non-disclosure. It's a non-disclosure state. But look, not much. No, sometimes in Houston and Redfin, you do get sold prices. Is this water access? Is just some, no, just a little pond. Yeah, not much there for vacant land sold, huh? Maybe this one, but that's got much bigger water. One thing you could do, and I'm not going to do it now, is you could go into this and look for new home construction and see if there is any new home builds that have sold here on the water recently, and you can find out who the listing agents were, who the buyer's agent was, see who the buyer was, the owner that built that new property to sell it, and you could contact them. But yeah, this concerns me. There's no sold comps in this area, maybe just because it's pretty high. So you're going to have to rely heavily on active comps, and you're just going to have to make sure yours is the cheapest property on the market. You need to be less than this, probably by 15-25% less than this. And this is that 210. This is a $500,000 an acre. If this property has been on the market for how long? 382 days. They're just asking way too much. I mean, what if you sold? Could you think you could sell yours for 150,000? That's probably where I would start. I would probably just gut check, like thinking, what could I list this for? Where the neighbors are going to be like, oh my gosh, that looks like a really good deal. Maybe even $95,000 is what I'd want to sell it for. I want to, excuse my French here, but I want to piss this owner off when I list my property. That's not very nice and Christian-like. Sorry. But I want him to think, or her, I want her to think, dang it, what are they doing? Do I care about their feelings? If you list it for $175 on this type of a deal, I would want you to make at least a $20,000 wholesale fee. You pay a realtor. Let's pay a realtor generous commissions of 8%. Do you think you might get, like, these things are paying realtors 6% commissions probably? What if we just made it 8%? That's a difference of $4,000. No bonus. I don't need that big of an oops factor. I'm going to pay $500 for photos. Closing costs $2,000. This is where my general rule of thumb is: never offer more than 50% of what the price you think you can sell it for. But this one, if I list it for $472,000 an acre, remember we were looking at this. This is $500,000 an acre. If I list it for $472,000 an acre, I don't know. What if we listed it for $400,000 an acre? Make a $20,000 wholesale fee, 8%. Okay, I would probably offer around $115,000. That's what I would offer. Now, here's the catch. Here's the tricky part of this. If you're going to be using private money, it's hard to find private money on vacant land unless you really know what you're doing at that loan-to-value ratio. Most hard money lenders and JV funding companies that partner with people and lend money on land deals, they're going to want to see you more at 50, 55, maybe 60%. You're going to need to be at $90,000. So this is, it's one of those things where if you have a private investor, maybe if you have your own money, like I would try to close on this thing and not do a 90-day close. Let me rewind a little bit. This is what I would do. I would offer $75,000 close in 30 days because I know I can get hard money that can lend me money on this all day long, every day that ends in Y. I can get hard money lender to lend at 50% of a conservative asking sale price. But if they say no or if they want more, I would offer them up to $114,000 on a 90 days contract. So that's interesting. You could let's look at not just land, let's look at homes. Let's look at homes, and then I'm going to do year built after 2022. So there's no new active homes right now in the market, except up there. Maybe this might be, I don't know. Let's look at solds also in the last year. New construction. This is a new, so like when I get my deal under contract, you can bet I'm calling this agent. This sold July 23, so I don't know, 10 months ago. And this is built on the water. This is a gorgeous house on the water right there. This is probably, let's look at the map. Yeah, it's pretty close. Our property's right there. This one's right there. Now, I don't know if that's, can you get to the ocean from there? I don't know. So you can spend some time looking at the reading the description. It's, you know, see it, notice how it's on stilts. This is a kind of an area where there's probably a lot of flooding. Once every 5-10 years, big storms come through. So you have to, you know, in order to get insured, you have to be up. Here's another property that's on the water. Sold 5 months ago. Yeah, so those two homes, I would call those agents. Right down, if you scroll down here, you can see listing agent, buyer's agents. I'd first call the listing agent and find out, hey, who built that property? And are they looking for another lot on the water? And what would they pay for it? Sometimes you can go into, let's look at this property, by the way, and let's see what we can find out on PropStream. Because I want to see if we can find out who the builder was. So the current owner, the retail owner, is currently who's on here, right? Sometimes you can go back and see prior sales history if it's available. And it's since it's a non-disclosure state, it might be tricky to get. You can see the buyer's information. $3,100 HOA fee a year. Wow. Tax info. Here we go. Mortgage and transaction history. Sometimes you can go in and you can see this stuff. Not sure. You can download the documents and maybe you can get into the seller take back. They're doing some kind of seller financing maybe with this thing. I don't know. Anyway, call the realtor and wherever that property went. Call the listing agents and see if that guy or company that bought that property and built that house, because it was built in 22, is looking to build some more. And sometimes too, when you're looking at these properties, maybe, you know, before you can make an offer, if it's just hard to get comps, just call a bunch of realtors in this area and ask them. There's some really beautiful new homes right here, right? Call the listing agents, the buyer's agents. This looks like renderings, so it's not a real property yet. So maybe they're building it right now. Currently under construction, estimated to be complete in October of 24. All right. So what if we looked this property up right now? To beat out this guy to sell it quick, I would make a all cash offer 30 days and 75 grand. If you get the deal under contract, if you want to partner with me on it, I'll provide the money. And you can close on it in 30 days. That way we can just turn around and sell it with a realtor. There we go. And if they won't take that, find out what they would take. Maybe offer 115 within 90 days set to close. And that gives you then time to see if you can put it out there in the market, see if you do have any buyers. You could also do transactional funding, right? Because like I'm just saying, this is going to be a harder deal in this price point to do an assignment with, especially if you're listing it with an agent and all of that stuff, right? So sometimes it's just easier to buy it, close on it, you own it, now you turn around and you sell it. And you can do that with OPM, other people's money. Use mine, use a hard money, use a private money lender. Sometimes if you have to close on it before you sell it, you can use transactional funding. And if you're a member of my inner circle, You get free transactional funding. We'll give you the money for free for a day. It doesn't go to you. It goes to the title company. We will hook you up. Okay, so let's look at land ID. I'm going to go look by latitude, longitude. It's interesting. Land ID is not giving me... What just happened here? Parcels on. Huh. Land ID is giving me a hard time here. But it says this is in Florida. I'm going to do a new map. Save and exit. All right. I think I know what I did here. Sorry. Exit map. New map. New Hampshire. Let's try this again. Latitude, longitude. Here we go. All right, does this have access? It says there's a road right there, but I don't see one. Maybe it does. That's one thing you have to ask the seller first thing. So it's 20 acres. Well, Zillow has a waterfront option. I wouldn't trust it, though. I would still double, triple check by pictures. Okay. Sometimes you don't know, and you can look at different base maps. And let's look at Hex Aerial, MB Satellite, Google Satellite, NAIP, Street. Okay, so Google Maps has something there. Let's look at 3D and see how hilly this is, if at all hilly. Cool, all right. Let's look at overlays. Is it in a flood zone or a floodplain? Overlays. FEMA floodplain? Nope. Wetlands? Nah. All right, so now we need to look this property up. It doesn't give me an address. It just says Robbie Road. Sometimes that works. So let's see what we can get inside of Redfin with that. That's Robbie Road. There's Punch Brook. Punch Brook. So our property is right north of Punch Brook. Our property is right there in the center of the map. What I'm trying to do is get the property we're looking at in the center of the map. And let's look at for sales and pendings. Let's look at land. Now ours is 20 acres. I'm going to look at lot size. Let's do... See, I don't want to lose this one. This is 7.8 acres. That's a good comp. So I'm just going to do, all right, lot size 5 to 40 acres. And I'm going to sort from low to high. Let's zoom out. Zoom out. Not a whole lot. Zoom out. Well, that looks cool. There's only 4 comps. Let's zoom out again. All right, now we have 20. Let's just kind of see if we scrape all of these properties, what are we getting for an average price per acre? I am going to sort from high to low and remove the real expensive ones. Let's remove everything above 500 grand. So I'm going to do price max 500. All right, let's sort low to high. Oh, come on. Sort low to high. For sale, pendings, right? Land only. We're looking at 5 to 40 acres. Do the Pebble Scraper. Now, I know you can't see this, but we've got $20,717 an acre. So I'm going to put that right there. These are actives. And ours is 20 acres. Okay, let's look at solds. Last 3 months. Oh, that's a good sign. 6 months. Let's go to the year because I want as many cheap comps as I can get. And if I have too many, I'll just zoom in. Now we dropped from 6. But obviously, 54. You're going to put more weight on the ones that are closer there, kind of, right? Like this one sold for 105. Let's just take a look at it real quick. 5.49 acres. Well, you know what? I want to look at, let's look at all of the solds. I'm going to do that pebble scraper again. And we've got $9,200 an acre for solds. Quite a bit less than the active price per acres, right? 9,200. Let's look at this one real quick again. If I zoom in, this property is real close to ours, right? It sold for 105. How much did that sell for an acre? $21,000 an acre. A paved road that is plowed. It's 5.5 acres, 2 lots. I like zooming out to get more comps. So if you're looking at this, all right, it's going to be worth 184 to 352. Oops. I'm going to go with, if I list it for 185, I make a $20,000 wholesale fee. I'll pay a realtor 6% commissions. Let's just say 2%. Oops. Yeah, boy, if you're going to get a hard money lender to lend on this, you're going to need to offer 92. I would offer around 100 on this. I would offer 100 grand. Get it over that $100,000 into the 6-figure mark. I think you could sell it for 185 grand. I mean, this right here, this property, yours is 20. This one's 5.5. It sold for 105. And again, looking at actives, what's your competition? Yours is really cheap. So here's your closest competition, maybe, right? They're asking 199.9. It's a little bit bigger than yours. It's 23 acres. They're asking 200 grand. Beautiful property here. Road access, 23 acres. So you want to make sure you're way cheaper than this. And this, well, shoot. Now look, this has been on the market for 682 days at 8,600 an acre. And we're advertising it for 9,200 an acre. So this might even be too much. What if you tried to sell it for 150,000? You're trying to sell it for 7,500 an acre, which is less than what this guy's selling it for. That's okay. I would try to sell it for 150. You could make 25 grand on this. Pay a realtor 8% commissions to sell it quick. Yeah, so I'd offer 75 to 100 grand. Okay, guys, we need to wrap this up. Appreciate you all. Have a good one. If you want more information about how to work with me and you want my Simple Land Kit for free, just go to simplelandkit.com and check it out. Appreciate you all.